3, 2, 1.
A wise man once said, "Change the game, but don't let the game change you." This wise man was Macklemore. So I don't really know how wise he was, but I like that quote. So my name is Robbie Blankenship. I'm 15, and I'm born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. I've only moved once, and I can actually see my old house from the bedroom of my current house in the winter when there are no leaves on the trees. I was on January 6, 2000. I was born. The plan was when I was born, my mom was going to call my grandma, who we call Mammy, and she was going to come watch my brother. So my mom started to think that I was coming, and she decided to call my grandma. She called my grandma. Grandma was so overly excited that she went the wrong direction and went the wrong direction to our house. By the time she got there, my mom was thinking she was going to have me on the porch. So my life kind of started off on a funny note. I have some pretty interesting hobbies, fairly interesting hobbies. I love that I live in downtown Raleigh, and I like to take trips. One of my hobbies is art. I draw and paint. I do some graphic design, and I like to do photography. I've been taking art from Miss Skibby for about 5 years, and I'm now an assistant for her. And I actually teach this young fellow in the front row, in the middle.
Hey, doing?
Let's see. I also do some graphic design, and I've just been doing it for fun for a long time. But recently, I've had some I've been contacted by some friends and family and done some work for them. A couple months ago, a basketball team in Canada called the Mississauga Power contacted me, and they asked me to do some work for them. So I've been doing a little bit of work for them recently. It's kind of an internship. Another of my hobbies is music. I don't play any instruments or anything like that, but I really love music. I'm pretty much always listening to that, and my family gets pretty annoyed by that. I'll listen to about anything, but some of my favorite bands include The Script, The Imagine Dragons, and Bastille. But I will listen to about anything I'm in the mood for. Another thing that I love to do is going to sporting events with my brother. We usually go to state events. We've gone for everything from football to softball to tennis. A lot of people can't say they've been to an NC State tennis match, but I can. So, we've gone to a lot of different events, including the SAS golf tournament and a tennis event in Winston-Salem, a professional event. I like to watch sports, but I also like to play them. I've played hockey for about 7 years, and it's brought a lot of great opportunities for my life. Another thing I really enjoy about my life is that I live in downtown Raleigh. One of the great things about living downtown is that I can walk pretty much anywhere I want. Me and my brother have a dog walking job, so we walk the dogs for about an hour downtown. So I'd like to say I know the city like the back of my hand, even though I don't know if this is quite true. Another thing I like to do is just explore downtown with one of my friends named Tommy. We'll meet up and grab something to eat and just walk around and explore. We discovered a really cool tunnel that opens up into a big grassy area that not a lot of people know about. So that was pretty cool. I live downtown now, and when I grow up, I want to live downtown in probably a bigger city. I do love Raleigh, but I also like to get away sometimes. Playing hockey has given me some great opportunities to do this. I've been to Atlanta for a nationals tournament, Richmond, and to Cincinnati. The Cincinnati tournament was for something called State Wars. State Wars is when players from all over the state try out to play for Team North Carolina. I made this, which was pretty awesome. And we went up to play in Cincinnati. We ended up winning the gold in the AA division, beating Texas in the finals. That was pretty awesome. Some other trips I've taken when I was younger include Disney World, St. Thomas, and Washington, D.C. I don't really remember a lot about these, besides from photographs, but I had a lot of fun. Me and my dad take a ski trip every year for my birthday. We usually end up going to Sugar Mountain or Beach Mountain up in Boone. One year, I think it may have been last year, my dad decided he was going to take a picture from the top of the mountain. We were having a lot of fun, so we decided to take a picture. He reached for his phone and realized he didn't have his phone. He reached for his keys and realized he didn't have his keys either. He made a sound that was somewhere between a baby crying and a squeal from a hyena. I'm not really sure how it happened, but it happened. It wasn't very funny at the time, but looking back, it's pretty comical. We ended up going down to the lodge and asked if they had them, and they didn't have them. We decided to wait until they groomed the slopes because that was coming in about an hour. And after about an hour, they called our name over the loudspeaker, and luckily one of the workers had found them on the slopes. That was pretty insane. If it would have been for about 5 minutes more, they would have groomed the slopes and they would have been buried in the snow forever. So that would not have been good. I have some pretty interesting hobbies. I love that I live in downtown Raleigh, and I also like to get away from Raleigh sometimes and take a trip. And that's pretty much me.